Memories by Subcommander Marcos, who was, the Zapatistas in Mexico. If you don't know about it, you should read about it because it's awesome. Okay. Freedom is like the morning. There are those who wait for it asleep, and there are others that stay awake and walk through the night to reach it. Check out this record I got. I show Katie the Pinhead Gunpowder record I bought at Amoeba in preparation for meeting up with Erin again. Oh God, she says, we're not going to have to start listening to punk now, are we? It might be good. They cover a Joni Mitchell song, and you wouldn't believe how many sheer words are in the lyrics, I say, handing over the lyric sheet. She puts the record on the turntable, turns the volume up, and says, yeah, this is actually pretty decent. Katie and I have a thing where we memorize entire songs so we can sing them together a cappella. We learn a couple songs and then head to Kyle's house. We are singing, keeping warm in the nighttime, burning hopes and dreams and even impossible schemes seem possible, everything's possible, everything seems so clear. We pull up to Kyle's house. He's sitting on his front stoop. Kyle, have you ever heard of the band Pinhead Gunpowder? Erin's band? Yeah, Billy Joe from Green Day is in it. Who's that? Oh my God, you two are the worst. Green Day? Yankee? They just signed to a major label and are famous. Everyone's pissed. I roll my eyes. Is this another Nevermind thing? Like, ooh, if Nirvana hadn't sold out, they would have changed the world. Kyle says, I wouldn't joke about that around here. People are seriously heartbroken. You don't have to get it. I get heartbreak, I say. They can be heartbroken about Green Day. I'll be heartbroken about anarchism, and we'll just pretend it's all the same thing. I have been surprised to find it impossible to connect to anything satisfactory political in Berkeley. There is the Anarchist Info Shop where I volunteer once a week. It's a tiny storefront with zines and books for sale, and the back is a meeting space and offices for various groups, like a community garden group and food not bombs. I work on Anti-Psychiatry Night, which is an open meeting for people who have been harmed by the psychiatric system. It is facilitated by a retired therapist, and is usually a handful of people with severe mental illnesses yelling and basically being totally wild. I love it, but it's not AWOL. I've heard of a group called Ruckus Society. This is the one with the puppet manual.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you.
That is putting on workshops teaching nonviolent civil disobedience, like how to safely climb bridges, hang massive political banners, and how to lock yourself to things. But I can't find this group or how to join. I went to the Critical Mass bike ride, but everyone had nice bikes and rode too fast, and I couldn't keep up. I have no one to really talk about current events with, like the North American Free Trade Agreement, which just went into effect, or the new revolutionary movement in Mexico, the Zapatistas, who have seized government offices in 6 towns and are occupying thousands of acres of land that was once held as autonomous indigenous lands guaranteed by the 1917 Mexican Constitution, but is now considered private property. They have declared war on the Mexican government on behalf of the country's indigenous people. At the info shop, we get a delivery of 20 beautiful artist posters against the WTO and World Bank. I asked the lady who leads the anti-psychiatry group, what's the WTO? I don't know, she says, but the World Bank is really bad for South America, and I bet La Peña across the street would want those. In Minneapolis, it seems so easy to find projects and people, and even if the different groups didn't always agree on tactics and focuses, we all respected each other and valued the work everyone did. I had thought that everyone would be that way, but in Berkeley, I can't even find a way in, and it's alarming. If the anarchist movement is so small that not even someone who knows where to look can find it, then what hope is there for anarchism at all? So I am depressed about anarchism. The punks are depressed about Green Day. I meet Erin at KPFA on Tuesday and cram into a tiny space where the bands play live on air. It's exciting in a proud to be included kind of way, even if I do feel a bit like the girl holding her boyfriend's leather jacket. Afterward, we go for a walk, which means walking 5 miles to his apartment in the next town over. Most boys like to show off their record collection, but Aaron shows off his filing system. Of his 2-drawer filing cabinet, which is the sweetest thing anyone has ever shown me on a second date. Not that this is a date. We kiss a little and then decide not to do that ever again. We walk back to Berkeley as the sun is coming up. I'm stealing New York Times papers, just ripping off the part that says New York Times, and returning the paper as we go. I have just finished compiling the 3rd issue of my zine, which for a random reason that is already annoying to try to explain is called Doris. I'm against mass production. I'm obsessed with temporary and individualized art. Each copy of Doris number 3 has things hand-drawn every few pages are taped in, including a partially burned New York Times banners. Each reader will feel my hands on the paper they are holding. Each person will know this was made especially for them.